Good evening, everyone. Okay, please specify whether audio and video is clear. Okay, any doubt from previous class? Please ask. Doubt है कोई? Okay, then today's topic is going to be a little bit complicated, so I will try to keep it very simple. Today's topic is about a treaty or an agreement for intellectual property, genetic resources, and additional or associated traditional knowledge. So three terms are there. This is a screenshot from May 2024. Basically, WIPO focused on a new treaty or new agreement. What is WIPO? What is this agreement? What is intellectual property? We will discuss each of them. Okay, now let's start. So first thing first, what is WIPO? WIPO is basically World Intellectual Property Organization. Now, what is this intellectual property? IP. Intellectual property refers to creation of human mind, यानी दिमाग की उपज जिसको हम बोलते हैं, creation of human mind. To protect this intellectual property, there are IP rights, that is basically referred as IPR. So we have covered three important terms. One is WIPO. What is WIPO? World Intellectual Property Organization. What is intellectual property? It is creation of human mind. It could be any, it could be let's say some artistic work. Let's say you have written a book, that is artistic work, and that is your intellectual property. Let's say someone has invented a particular medicine or particular vaccine, that is another intellectual property of that particular company. To protect these intellectual properties, there is a provision of IPR. Okay, now let's try to understand how this treaty is going to be associated with these terms. Let me give you a very basic example. So let's say there's a person, let's consider the name of this person as Ajay. So Ajay had some accident. Now usually in our families or in Indian system, whenever there is some kind of injury, we usually give turmeric milk. Turmeric milk. Why so? Because it is known for its healing properties. Healing property. Healing property basically means घाव है वो जल्दी भरेगा. Now understand this example very carefully. In USA, there was a company and they filed for a patent. Filed for patent, and patent basically means they filed for the exclusive right, and in patent they said that, see, we have focused or we have done research, and now we know that turmeric is known for its healing properties, and therefore we want an exclusive right for this particular thing. Now India said कि ये तो आपने अभी बात की है, in our country, that means in India, it is being used since ages. This is known as basically intellectual property and related issues. So in this context, understand the use of turmeric for healing property. This is known as a traditional knowledge. Traditional knowledge. Traditional knowledge basically means our ancestors know it. They passed that knowledge to us, and now we use it, and this keep on going on from generation to generation. That is traditional knowledge. This particular turmeric in this particular case is known as genetic resource. Genetic resource. Now if this particular company, let's say the name of this company is ABC, if this company is given patent for this turmeric, then that will be referred as IP. So three things are there: IP, that is intellectual property; GR, that is genetic resource. Genetic resource basically means any medicinal plant. Medicinal plant means the plant which have medicinal value, or any agricultural crop. What is TK? TK basically refers to traditional knowledge. So this was quite controversial. Various companies in USA filed for patent not only for turmeric. Some company also filed patent for the neem. Neem is known for its antibacterial properties. So they said that we have done research on neem, and now we want a patent for it. Patent basically means exclusively they have control over that. Without their permission, no one will be able to use it. Use it basically means for commercial purpose. Again, India objected. India said that in our families, neem is used since ages. How can you claim that you did research on it? It is part of our traditional knowledge. So in a very simple sense, traditional knowledge refers to the knowledge which is used since generations. It may be part of culture, it may be part of tradition, it may be written, it may not be written. That is traditional knowledge. Genetic resource, for example, I have given two examples. One is turmeric and one is, let's say, neem. Intellectual property, very basic example is patent. Another example of intellectual property is copyright. Okay. So far we have discussed what is WIPO, what is intellectual property, what is genetic resource, and what is traditional knowledge. Is there any doubt for these terms? Then we will move ahead and then we will discuss this WIPO treaty. Is there any doubt? Please ask. है कोई doubt? Okay, now let me simplify. What is this WIPO treaty? So WIPO treaty simply say that before granting patent to anyone, that means before granting or before giving patent to anyone, that particular company, that means in this case it is ABC, that company need to specify what is the source of their discovery, how they got to know it. Usually what happens, they get to know it from some community and then they use it for their own benefit. This is basically referred as biopiracy. Biopiracy. For example, in a very simple sense, this company might have some knowledge about turmeric from some Indian family, but they are claiming that it is their own discovery, it is own research, and that's why they want a patent for it. So biopiracy basically means illegal use or use without authorization. Okay. Now let's try to understand what is the goal of this WIPO treaty. On three terms are there: IP. What is IP? Intellectual property right. GR, that is genetic resources, and ATK. What is ATK? Associated traditional knowledge. So in this particular example, the use of turmeric for healing, that is traditional knowledge. Turmeric is genetic resource, and if any company is trying to get a patent for that, that is intellectual property. Now under this agreement, just remember two things. A, there is a provision of mandatory disclosure. Mandatory disclosure. Mandatory disclosure basically means it is mandatory for that particular company who is filing for patent. They have to disclose how they got to know it. Usually they hide the source and they claim that it is their own research. So first part is mandatory disclosure. Second part is it will not be applicable or non-applicable on past patent. Past patent. So these are the two important provisions of this particular treaty. Now let's try to understand what is the significance of this treaty. Significance of WIPO Treaty. So first thing first, it is going to be beneficial for Global South. Global South, understand, most of the advanced companies are from Global North. So they utilize the knowledge of Global South without giving them credit. Under this WIPO treaty, if any company will file for a patent, first what they have to do, they will have to mandatorily disclose the source, how they got to know about it. So that is going to be beneficial for Global South because it is rich in biodiversity. Second benefit is it will lead to integration of traditional knowledge, that is TK, into global IP system. Global IP system. What is global IP system? Global IP system basically means global intellectual property system. Okay. Next, it will promote transparency in allocation of patent right. How it will promote transparency? Keep it simple. First, before granting patent, first they have to verify the source, whether it is genuine or someone else is taking the benefit. Next, it will curb biopiracy. Biopiracy basically means you are using, for example, in this particular case, the American companies were claiming that they have done research on turmeric and then they got to know that turmeric is known for its healing properties. This is biopiracy. Why it is biopiracy? Because in our country, that is in India, this is being used since generations, so they have not done anything on it. Apart from that, it is going to support Indian knowledge system. Indian knowledge system. Now, what is this Indian knowledge system? See, India is known for its knowledge. That basically means we have rich traditions, rich cultural heritage. So we are a land of knowledge. Now most of them is not written, or in most of the cases we don't have any documentary evidence for that. Now because of this treaty, if anyone is going to apply for patent, first they will have to verify the shows. So it is good for us, because now our knowledge cannot be used without our permission. That is going to be the beneficial for India. One more thing, let me give you a very basic example of Indian knowledge system. For example, our texts such as Ved, Puran, they are rich source of knowledge. So what we are trying, to utilize our existing or our past knowledge system. Okay, in this context, government recently announced Gyan Bharatam mission. What is the goal of this mission? Goal is digitization of our manuscript. Apart from that, in the recent budget itself, government has announced a second gene bank. So this gene bank is actually going to be a source of genetic resources, that is GR. So that is all about this particular treaty. Now let's have a look at the question. Question is, what is biopiracy? That is first part of the question. How WIPO Treaty on Intellectual Property, Genetic Resources and Associated Traditional Knowledge intended to address biopiracy, discuss its significance for developing countries, particularly in terms of safeguarding their traditional knowledge and genetic resources. That is the question. So basically question is having two major part. What is biopiracy and how this recent WIPO treaty will address the problem of biopiracy. That is it. If you have any doubt, please ask. Okay, then that's all for today. Thank you.